Today, we're going to be going over how to add an RSVP form to your chapter site. This can be used for chapter meetings and other events. The first step is going to be to log into your chapter site, and you should log in admin mode, which means that you have this orange bar. If for some reason you're not seeing this orange bar, contact me at chapters@ons.org and we'll get you set up. Now the first step is going to be to add the actual form itself. We're going to use the gray Add Content bar on the page that we want the form to appear. So we're going to click on that, and it's going to load all of these options. Now you're just going to ignore most of them. We're going to scroll down to the section titled Form Builder, and we're going to click on the option for a new form. This is going to take us to our setup page where we're going to set up some of the basics for this form. So our form title is going to be May Meeting RSVP. Now you can do this each month for a meeting, or you can reuse the same form and just have a field in which the members will put the month of the meeting if you don't want to have to change the form every month. So the form type, we're going to leave it as default. We do have other options for future reference. You can do a survey or a quiz for your members. Use CAPTCHA image to prevent automated spamming. We're always going to want to select yes. This way no foreign websites can interfere and leave fake RSVPs to your meetings. Allow members to view their posts. I would suggest to say members can view their own posts submitted. That way they can verify if they've RSVP'd to the meeting. And allow members to edit their posts. I would leave this setting as is. Nobody can edit posts. We don't want people messing around with their settings. Use a warning message before submit. You can do this. It's not mandatory, but we're just going to say, please make sure all information is correct. That way that'll pop up before anyone hits the submit button. You can choose the label position. So this is essentially where the question that you're asking is going to appear. So I'm going to leave that at left of field, but you can also select above. It's just personal preference. This field down here is the notification email list. And essentially what this is you can choose to be email notified every time someone RSVPs, or you can just download the list yourself. I'm going to say that I want email notifications, so I'm going to enter my email address, chapters@ons.org, and that way anytime someone submits to this form, I will get a notification. Again, this isn't mandatory, but it's nice if you don't feel like checking the site every day. And then finally at the very bottom, this is the message that the user will see after the form is submitted. So we're going to say, thank you for RSVPing. We will see you at the May meeting. And that way it just reassures the member that their RSVP has gone through. Okay, so now that we've set up all of these basics, we've reviewed all of our settings, we're just going to click on Finish. Now, you might be asking, where are the actual questions? That's the next step. So you can see it's created the basic skeleton of the form. Here's the CAPTCHA image that they'll have to enter to make sure that they're not a spammer or a robot. But now we're going to actually add the questions that we want them to answer to get the information that we need for their RSVP. So to do so, we're going to click on this button above the form. It should say Edit Form. And once that pops up, we're going to click on Add Form Field. So this is where you're going to have all of your options to add a form question. For the most part, text box will work fine, but you do see we have all these other options. An email address, it would mean that they could only enter an email address. The form would basically yell at them if they entered anything else. The same goes for phone number, date, number. We also have the options for drop-down boxes or check boxes. So it really is a variety of tools that you have at your disposal. But for this, we're just going to use a text box, and we're going to say we want your name. Most basic information that you could get from someone. So we're going to say your name. Is this a required field? Yes, we don't want them to be able to submit the form without giving us their name. So now that that looks good, we're going to click on Finish. And as you can see, our form here has a little section for a name. So now we're going to add another form question. And we're going to say we want your email address so that we can send out a message only to people who've RSVP'd. We're just going to label this as email address. And again, we want this to be mandatory. Now remember, putting email address in this section means that they will only be able to put an email address. They will not be able to put just a normal line of text. It's going to have an at something.com or .org in order to be accepted by this form. So we're going to click Finish. And as you can see, now we have our email address form section. So we're going to add one last form field. Say that we want to know if they're a member or a non-member because we charge for non-members to attend. So we are going to do a checkbox, and we are going to ask the question, are you an ONS chapter member? We're going to make this field required, and we're going to click Finish. Now when it loads, you might be asking, well, where are our checkboxes? We don't actually have them over here. Above the question, you see this tiny blue link that says Edit Options. We're going to click on that, and that's going to have a pop-up where you can add all of the checkboxes you want. So we're going to add an option for Yes, I am a member, and we're going to click Add Option. And then we're going to add an option for No, I am not a member. We're going to click Add Option. When we hit Close, it's automatically going to load over here, and now we have our two checkboxes. And so as you can see via these little yellow buttons above each section, you can go in and edit this at any time. You can edit the question itself or the checkboxes that you would like to have displayed. So this looks pretty good to me. We are going to reload our page, and this is what the finished form will look like. So we are going to do a test submission here for you. So I'm going to ask for your name. I'm going to say my name is Shannon Holzer. My email address, chapters@ons.org. Am I an ONS member? Yes. And then they're going to have to fill out this CAPTCHA information. So they're going to have to see this number and type in the text. That one's a little blurry. I can't read it, so I'm going to refresh it. There we go, 214. That's a little bit easier. And now I'm going to submit. Remember, we typed in our pop-up. Please make sure all information is correct. It is, so I'm going to go ahead and click Submit. So now we get our thank you message. Thank you for RSVPing. We'll see you at the May meeting. Great, I will be there. So now to read your RSVPs that you had, if you hadn't set up the email notifications, which I have, so I will have just received an email that Shannon Holzer's RSVP to the meeting. But if you don't feel like doing that, you can always come to your form and click on View Form Posts. That's going to show you all of your RSVPs. You can click on them individually and see the person's answers. Or if you have, 100 RSVPs, you can click on this option to export posts. And this is going to give you an option to download it as an Excel document. So you'll have all of your RSVPs in one place. So see, this is what's going to title the document. I'm going to click Finish. And it's going to say, click here to download the spreadsheet. When I click this, it's going to download my May meeting RSVPs. So that's basically the simple way to add an RSVP form to your chapter site. If you have any additional questions, please contact me at chapters@ons.org, and I'd be happy to help you out.